What is up guys, Alex here and welcome to the fourth and probably final part of this signature making tutorial. Now in this one we are basically looking at a Halo tag. I've posted three other videos in which I would definitely suggest you go and take a look. Basically we cover all the stages to get to this one. Here we have kind of the stage before we move on to like finalizing and adjustments and all that kind of stuff. So as you can see, I have C4Ds, my render, my background, I have some glows in there, I have good lighting, and yeah. But there is a couple of things I want to try out first. I'm not sure if they'll work, but I definitely want to try and add another C4D in. We're going to try and bring the other C4D in over here actually. I'm going to flip it horizontally. You guys can I've probably worked out how to do that after I've done it so often. Once again, as you can see, this render kind of does fit into the background quite nicely, but we are going to use an exposure layer on this and actually bring it up so the opposite kind of way to the way we usually do. We're just going to kind of do something like that, and hopefully that C4D should blend in quite nicely. I'm not sure if we actually need that C4D there or not, but no, I don't think we need that C4D, so I was just kind of messing around in there. Anyway, so this is probably where I'm going to leave this signature for the moment. Well, I don't mean leave it, I mean like this is the stage we've got to before we're adding the adjustment layers and stuff. So I think if anything we maybe could add a tiny little bit more shading into this. So I'm going to choose my black brush, going to just B for brush. We're just going to get a nice soft brush and we're actually going to just brush a little bit down there. Yeah, so I think that was kind of needed a little bit more down there. So now we've done that, as you can see I've got my glows up here. We are going to start to work on some adjustment layers. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to group this and just call it background. Oh, I hate it when I put accidental capitals in there like that. And we're just going to basically group the rest of this together and call it main. But inside this main we're going to quickly group together all the kind of lighting stuff which is here. So I'm not making a bit of a mess of this. So we're going to call that lighting in there, and yeah, so I like to keep my folders nice and organized, and yeah, this is where we're at. So what I'm basically going to do now is put a lot of adjustment layers in. Now adjustment layers, for all those who don't know, is basically click on this little icon down here. It's kind of a circle with a half filled and half not, and as you can see there is plenty of stuff to choose from up here. And I always kind of like to start from the bottom and work my way up, but sometimes I do start with just a simple exposure layer like I've been showing you guys all the way through, just to bring it down that tiny little bit. So I think I'm going to bring it down something like that and bring the exposure up. Yeah, that's looking pretty cool. So basically all the adjustments I do are always really small. I like to work in little small stages rather than massive big jumps. I like to slowly build it up, lots of different effects in, and yeah, you guys will soon see what I mean. So I'm going to start with the gradient map that I put onto all my signatures. Everybody inside Photoshop should have this gradient. It's one of the preset ones, just an awesome purple to orange gradient. I'm going to put it on soft light. I'm going to bring the opacity down to, let me see, something like 30 I think. I like to always start with this one because I think it adds a really cool depth to all the pieces. Definitely think that is working wonders there. So we're just going to continue going through all these. We're just going to add a black and white one on luminosity. I don't know how you actually say that properly. This is just going to be on a simple 10. We are then going to add a black to orange one. Yes, we are. And we're going to put that onto screen. We're going to put that on a reasonably low, actually 15 I think. And I'd say that's probably it from down there at the moment. Now we're going to look at some color lookups. And basically these color lookups are always really sweet. But there's actually one color lookup that I meant to do after this exposure layer I think. And it is Foggy Night. Now Foggy Night is, as you can see, it's kind of a weird one. but I like to always put that in like reasonably low. So I'm gonna think out 15 will do for that. Reasonably low on foggy night, but I think it adds a cool kind of atmospheric feel to the whole tag. And then I always just start, oh, don't click on that. I start from the top here under 3D LUT file. I go all the way to 2 strip, and then I just press the down arrow to check other ones, and I think I'll go for this one. Linear dodge add. We're gonna bring this up. So I'd say this tutorial is probably kind of staging towards more of the advanced side, but I think it's a necessary step in making this signature indeed to have the right adjustments in it, and I didn't see the point in missing out a stage in my tutorial, even if it is going to be a bit beyond what you guys are capable of. I think it's still cool to see some guys doing like advanced signature making, or higher than beginner, maybe not fully advanced, but you understand what I'm meaning. So that adds a bit more lighting, which is awesome. And we're, like I said, we're just going to keep working our way through these, finding cool ones, just kind of lowering the opacity. So I think I'll put that on 15. And basically we're just trying to build up the depth, build up the feel of this tag. I think this crisp winter one is actually kind of cool, so we're going to put that on screen, the same, and actually bring it up quite high, reasonably high, like 25, something like that. Once again, we're just going to go into color lookup. We're going to choose edgy amber. Now that might actually work if I put that on soft light or something like that. So I think if we 15, but actually I'm going to bring it below this one here. And you guys can just basically work through all these like I've just said. It's pretty easy to choose ones you like, choose ones you don't like, choose ones you feel work, choose ones you feel don't. And that's just how I'm going to go about it. So I think we will add some of this blue, maybe just on screen or something like that. Linear dodge add, I think. So we're just going to put that on 15. So like I said, they're all reasonably low opacities. I'm not really working with anything really like crazy, but yeah. So we're going to put this one up onto 35 because I think it adds, yeah, that definitely looks cooler. Oh, that's a gradient map, wrong one. Color lookup. Once again, we're getting to the bottom of these now. We're going to go to choose these bottom ones. Let's see. I think a soft warming could actually be cool. 10. Where were we? We're into it here. Oh, okay. That's actually really cool. It really brings out those glows. So let me see. I think we'll just have it on something like 15 maybe. And as you can see already, if I take away all these adjustments, that was the tag we started with. And we've got it up to here. So I think basically it adds so much depth to the tag. Some people call me the king of adjustments, but you know, nah, I'm kidding on. I definitely love my adjustments. I definitely pride myself. It's one of the things that I think I can use pretty well, that I've got down to a T. I'd say pretty reasonable. But anyway, we're going to continue going through our adjustments right here. So some cool ones you can use is photo filter, but I don't really like to use them. Another one, color balance. Definitely I try and use this in a lot of my tags. As you can see, you can mess around with all the colors. Try and find something you think is pretty cool. So sorry, I'm not speaking, I'm just concentrating here, trying to find one that's reasonably cool. So I think that adds quite cool. I think that looks pretty cool. We're going to lower the opacity though down to about 65. We are then going to go into hue and saturation. I just want to mess around here and just see what the different kind of colors can look like. I always do this, see like, oh, there's a pink, but still I think the basic one we had looks pretty cool. We could bring it up. I think that was kind of the original right there, kind of color on the render, something like that. But I'm pretty happy with my orange. Definitely think it's working pretty cool. Oh, didn't mean to click on the bottom one there. So the last one I always like to do, just to see where my lighting is at, is if you click this, or if you go into adjustments, click on curves, then you just click on auto. It'll basically, Photoshop will automatically set your tag or your piece to whatever it thinks is the right lighting. And I think this is really always helpful for me, because it can shows me that maybe my tag is a little bit too dark. So I'm going to bring this up to screen, and I'm just going to lighten it a bit. So we're going to put this on to about 15, and as you can see, that has just lightened it that little bit more. So I think we are kind of looking at finishing this tag. I'm going to group together all those adjustments, Control G, and by selecting them all, I click on one, hold, and then press Shift and click on the bottom one, and then Control G to group them all. We're going to call this adjustments, and without, that is what it was like. That is what I came into this tag with. This was the signature I had, and in this tutorial I showed you guys how to do this. So I think what I've done is definitely pretty cool and very atmospheric. I definitely love it. And how far I went into this? So 10 minutes. I think we've got time to completely finish off this tag. The final steps I do is basically I apply the image, I put in a border, I sharpen it up a little bit and stuff like that. Oh, but I may have forgotten the text. I'm not feeling like I can get text in this. I'm not too sure if it is possible to or not. I guess I can try. Maybe. It's not going to be fun. So I'm just going to choose my classic font I always use, and Luigi is the name of the guy that I'm making this for. So a big shout out to Luigi. He is the one that basically brought you guys this tutorial. Oh sorry, I'm not even explaining to you guys how I'm making this right now. So basically for text, you can choose T over here. You can then choose your font up here, or you can click on this if you've got it up. If you're not, you can go to window, and I don't even think it's there. I think I've just, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, character is here. All the settings for everything is in here. Basically, you can change the font you got here as well. Oh, I accidentally just changed it. My bad. Oh, right, it's this one. And there we go. So I think if we put our text anywhere, it's going to be kind of roughly there. We're going to try and make it fit. Making it fit into this is going to be tough. Very tough ask, but you know, I like a challenge. So let's see what we can do here. We're just going to start with a gradient map, I think. We'll get rid of this color overlay. So we'll just go for maybe a black to white, maybe a black to more subtle gray. Yeah, something like that. And we're just going to lower the opacity on that. Something possibly like 75, I think, should work. If we put on, okay, so I think a drop shadow. Yeah, a drop shadow works here. I think we need a hint of orange, a kind of darkish orange, something like, let me see. Yeah, something, actually maybe a bit more red's needed, I think. Yeah, something like that. We're just going to bring this down so it's got a kind of a hint of orange in it. Something like 30 maybe. Yeah, so that looks cool. We could put a stroke on it, but that just makes the text look really weird. I think outer glow is needed. We're just going to spread it a little bit more, get the size a bit bigger, and then lower the opacity. So something like 15 in the opacity, and I think that text is actually looking reasonably okay. I've probably just jinxed myself there, but I think it is looking alright. Do we need any of this? Don't think so. So I think we'll leave that kind of like that. Let me see. I want to quickly try another way. I'm not sure if I've even got this one. Let's see. Wolf's Bane. Awesome, love this font. And we're going to choose a nice reddy, kind of orange, something like that. We'll try just typing that in. So I don't think that is actually red enough for me. So something like that. We are just going to copy and paste the layer styles onto that. And then we're going and we're actually going to get rid of the we're just gonna get rid, or we're gonna just lower this a bit. So something like 50 on there. And okay, I think that looks better actually. We are gonna duplicate this and we're gonna move it like so. We're gonna make the back one color overlay on this. We're just gonna make it a dark blue is what we're gonna do. So something like darker than that though. Yeah, something like this. And I think we have came up with a reasonably cool looking kind of text there. I don't know, does that look cool? I'm still not sure about this text. We'll go back before we delete that layer. Which one do we think looks cooler, that one or that one? Yeah, I think that one works better. So sorry, I'm messing around with my text a lot here. I just want to get it nice and perfect, I guess. What we're gonna do actually is make a little gap in here, kind of 65, something like that. We are gonna duplicate that. We're just gonna bring it something like there, and like I said, I'm gonna put a blue on the background. Hopefully that should work. So we get a nice dark blue, something like a bit darker, something like that maybe. And I think that should be pretty cool. The text maybe stands out a little bit too much, so we'll add a little bit of shading onto that in a second or two. The adjustments are affecting the text as well. Let me see, could we maybe, right, I'm just trying out a lot of stuff here. I know it's not really a tutorial in which to try, but I'm just really wanting to mess around here and get a good tag, and you guys are just gonna have to bear with me because, you know, yeah. So what we're gonna try and do is make this bit here see-through. So I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna clipping mask onto there. Actually no, we need to create two of these. And on the base one, we have to create a stroke, and this stroke we will make white. And I think that looks alright. I'm not sure about the X, the whole X kind of thing. I think we could just reduce this. Yeah, so I think something maybe like that kind of works. And we are then going to apply some small tiny text, which is here, tiny text. And basically you can download this anywhere. It's just really crazy small text, as you can see, that you can just kind of put in, and it makes it look reasonably cool. So I think, let me see. Okay, I'm not sure that brush there actually works. So let's try a different one, maybe like this. Let me see. Not sure about that one either. It's just trying to find one that always works, because it is tough to find brushes that always work. So something like that maybe. Let me see. So yeah, I think that's looking pretty cool. I think I'm pretty happy with that text type. I definitely think it looks pretty cool. So what I'm basically gonna quickly do is just add a little bit of shading to this, because obviously it is maybe a little bit too bright, and I've definitely ran on too far in this tutorial. We're nearly hitting 20 minutes, so I have to apologize to you guys for the length of this tutorial. Definitely a little bit too long. Actually, I'm just gonna make the whole thing black, and we're just gonna bring it down a little bit, something like that. That just makes it kind of red, which is annoying. So we'll make this 25. We will make another one, and we will make that kind of darkish towards the bottom. So yeah, now I think actually I'm gonna go back in here. We are gonna, if I get rid of that, so something like 35. I'm not sure what it was before, but and I think we need to get some more orange in here, so we're just going to choose up a straight orange, maybe a little bit darker than that, something like that, and we're just going to have it on a really low opacity, something like 15 possibly. So that's still not really working. So I think we'll go for 25 there. And yeah, let's have a look at this text that we've just managed to create. Let's see if we just call this text here. So that's it with, that's it without. Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. I'm quite happy with the text. I'm usually really pretty rubbish at text, so this for me is alright, I guess. We're gonna make this go across one more. I think that looks cooler. And you guys leave in the comments what you think of my text here. I'm not sure if it's amazing or what even is, but yeah, like I said, I think it's alright. So we will move on right there to the final stage of this tag. What I'm going to do is I'm going to apply my image. So to do this, you want to press Shift, Control and Alt and then E, and that just applies your image for you. I'm going to rename this one to High Pass. I always like to start with a high pass, and high pass is basically a way in which you can sharpen your image. So you want to go up to filter after applying your image, other, high pass, and I like to put mine always on 7.0. We're then going to go to here and press soft light. We're going to bring it down to roughly 25 to 35 is where I usually have mine. So we're going to do that. We are then going to make another one. We're just going to call this sharpen, and this is just going to be a simple sharpen layer. Once again, going up to filter, sharpen, smart sharpen. You guys can copy up my layout here. I think the amount actually I'm going to reduce to 30, just get that down a little bit, so you can copy that, you can see all that there. I'm going to click OK. Yep, so I'm pretty happy with that sharpen. Don't think I need to do too much. Maybe I'm going to lower the opacity to 90. We're going to create another one. I'm just keep applying the image on top of each other. We're going to call this lighting. And for lighting, we're going to go up to render, lighting effects. Now, this lighting effects is definitely a pretty cool thing to do. I definitely suggest using it I use it in pretty much all of my tags. So I'm going to set about there. You guys can mess about. You can see you can make it bigger, you can kind of squash it a bit, but I think something like that is working. You can change the intensity there. I think something like that works. I'm gonna wait for that to load. It should, yep, so it's loaded up there. We can lower that there, so I'm gonna put on 25%, and as you can see, that definitely helps the lighting. And I think that is us pretty much finished. What we're going to finish up with is our border. So I'm just going to take a black rectangle right here. We're just going to create a black rectangle. We're going to use the down arrows to get it off the screen. Then we're going to come up to, we're going to duplicate it using Control J. Then we're going to drag it up holding Shift and bring it 2 down from the top. 2 pixels down from the top. So if you see, if I zoom in here, 1, 2, and it's off the screen, 1, 2, and it's back on the screen. So basically I've created a 2 pixel top and bottom border here rather than anything else, like a full border. I always like my top and bottom borders for some reason. I don't know, it just, any tags you see like this size will always have that pretty much. So there we are. That is my signature for you guys. That is Leegee's signature. You guys will be able to see it on the forums. Yeah, I'm going to quickly just group these off and call it final touches. Sorry this was such a long video, 25 minutes long. I really have to apologize for that, but I really hope you guys did learn a lot from this video. I definitely think this is one of the better tags I've made, so really hope Leegee likes it. And yeah, check out the other 3 tutorials if you haven't already. This was a more advanced one. I will be coming at you guys with some clan banner tutorials, some more signature tutorials, speed arts, everything like that. Make sure you go and check out my new, I posted up quite a few threads in the Clash of Clans section, or under the creativity section. So if you guys want a signature on there, definitely go and have a look for my shop. It is just called Alex's Tagging Shop, I think. And I'm taking anyone with over 250 signatures, 250 posts at the moment, so request away. Thank you very much for coming along. I hope you learned a lot from this. Please leave your comments below with stuff you want to see in the next video, other tags that you might be like, how did they do this, how did they do whatever. And yeah, like this video too if you haven't already. Subscribe to me for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.